Hi there, this is Tony from pianotone.ca, and this is just going to be a really quick video on how to back up your Yamaha YC Series keyboards, settings, and live sets to a flash drive, how to do firmware updates safely so that you don't lose any of your customization, and how to do a factory reset if you ever need to. Let's check it out. Okay, so first things first, it's always best to use a flash drive that was formatted by the keyboard as opposed to one that was formatted by a computer. So to do that, with a flash drive inserted, press Menu, and then go down to File, press Enter, and then go down to File Utility, and then Format. So now that I've got a formatted flash drive ready, there's 4 backup options that are available. Personally, I only bother with 2 of these. The first one is called Backup File. This backs up your keyboard's current settings and all of your live set data, so all your custom registrations. This is basically a complete backup of your keyboard's current state. Then the next one is called Live Set All File. This backs up all of your live set data, but without the global settings. Then there's Live Set Page File. This just backs up the current live set page that you're on, so the 8 live sets in your current page. Then there's Live Set Sound File, and that just backs up the currently selected live set. So which of these backups should you do? I always make sure I have a current copy of the first 2 available, the Backup File and the Live Set All File. I never bother with backing up just one live set page or one live set sound, but you can if you want to. You should always make sure you have a current backup file on hand as well as a separate live set all file backup on hand, especially before you update your firmware. So why is this important to have both backup file types? Versatility. Since the backup file includes your settings and live sets at the time of the backup, it doesn't by itself give you the versatility to just restore your live sets. If you restore from this backup file, you're restoring your global settings and your live sets. The live set file gives you the versatility so that if you want to, you can just restore your live sets. So I think it's handy to have that option. So an important thing to note here, firmware updates delete all of your settings and all of your live sets. So make sure you have backups complete before proceeding with a firmware update. So why do I recommend always having a reasonably recent backup of both, even if you're not doing a firmware update? Well, just in case you have to factory reset your keyboard one day. This hasn't happened to me with my YC, but it has happened to me with other keyboards I've owned, Yamaha and other brands, where a factory reset was needed to fix something. And that factory reset will also delete your settings and your live sets. So it's good to always be prepared. Okay, so how do we do these backups? Super easy. The first one, Backup File, that's the complete backup. I'm going to press Menu. Then I'm going to choose File. Then I'm going to choose Backup File. And then I'm going to go Save. It's asking you to choose a file location, and it's just going to default to New File because this is an empty flash drive. So I can press Enter, and I can give my file a name if I want to. I usually just accept the default of YC Backup and press Enter. I only usually bother with making sure I have a single backup file at any time. But if you wanted to maintain a history of backups for some reason, you could always include a date or description in the name or something like that, and always back up to new backup files. So I'm going to just go ahead and accept the default name. So it only takes a couple of seconds. Now, if I go to do that again, you'll see now the YC backup that I just saved is listed there. So I could go to a new file, or I could overwrite the YC backup file. And that's what I usually do. Okay, so for the next one, which is Live Set All File, basically go through exactly the same procedure. Menu, File. This time I go Live Set All File and go Save. And it's going to prompt me for a new file again because I don't have any on that flash drive yet. And again, you could name it if you want, give it a date or something. I just accept the default. So now we have that one on the flash drive as well. So you can see something about what was just backed up. I'm just going to scroll to my custom live sets, which are stored in 19.1 to 20-8. So those are my custom live sets that I've set up. So just keep that in mind. We're going to be looking at that a little bit later. Okay, so now that we've got our backups done, we can look at restoring them, but we might as well combine that with a firmware update. So my YC61 shipped with version 1.2, and I knew from watching a million YouTube videos that there was a version 1.3 and a version 1.4, so I knew I needed an update. So to check your current firmware version, you just press Menu and scroll to Version Info and press Enter. So you can see I'm on 1.4 now because I've already done that update. So before we go looking for an update online, you should actually format another flash drive once again with the keyboard, and this update can be a slow process when it runs. So if you have a high-speed flash drive, I'd highly recommend using that. and then take that flash drive to your computer. So this needs to be a separate flash drive from the one with your backups. When I did this to update to version 4, the update process took about 10 or 15 minutes. So at your computer, if you look on Yamaha's websites online, you can just Google Yamaha YC firmware updates, or you could navigate to your area's Yamaha webpage for the YC series, and you'll usually see a link for downloads up in the menu, where you can download manuals and reference manuals and such, as well as the latest firmware. So when you download the firmware, it's likely going to be a compressed zip file containing a whole bunch of stuff. All you actually need out of this folder is the PGM file. Copy that PGM file to your flash drive that you just formatted, and then take it back to your YC, but don't put it in yet. Okay, so you need to turn your YC off. I've done that, and I've put in the flash drive with the version 1.4 on it. Now I want to hold down Store and Menu, and then turn the YC on, and I need to keep holding those buttons until I see the Updater menu pop up on the screen. Once I see that, then I can let go. So there's the Updater menu, so I can let go. It's telling me the current version is 1.4 and the new version is also 1.4. I can press Enter to start it, and or I could just press Exit to reboot. I'm going to go ahead and redo this, even though that's the version that I've already got, just so you can see what the menu looks like. And don't worry, I will speed it up and maybe skip a little bit in the replay, so you don't have to sit and watch this for 15 minutes. It's warning me that all user memory is going to be initialized, so I'm going to lose my live sets, and I'm going to use any of my custom settings. So there we go. Okay, so now that it's done, it says to turn the YC off, so I'm going to do that. I'll pop out that flash drive too and turn the YC back on. Now we can go ahead and confirm that the new version was installed by pressing Menu and then going down to Version Info, pressing Enter, and it's 1.4. So the new version got installed fine. Let's go looking for my live sets, and as expected, all of 19 and 20, those pages are all saying init sound now, so my live sets are gone. So normally here I would restore the complete backup file with my settings and my live sets, but I'll show that as well, but in a minute. For now, let's just pretend we just want to restore our live sets. So if I've got my backup flash drive back in there now, so if I press Menu, and then File, and then Live Set All File, and then Load, it's going to ask me which file on my flash drive, and I only have the one, so I'm going to choose that. So this actually gives you the option of loading all your live sets, or you can just choose a single live set and then load it to your currently selected live set slot. You can't choose a destination slot here. Just as a quick example, if I choose live set sound, I can choose which one I want to load, but it's going to put it into 1.1, which is my currently selected one. So I can't choose a destination. So I'm just going to exit out of there, and I'm just going to say load all. Loading a single one might be a useful feature if you're tinkering around with a live set and then maybe you messed something up. You can always just reload the one from your backup this way by selecting that live set first and then going through this restore procedure. So now that I've done that, if I scroll to 19 and 20, you can see all my live sets are back. Okay, so now as an example of restoring a complete backup from the backup file version, I'm going to do a factory reset. So to do that, I'm going to press Menu. Then I'm going to choose Job, hit Enter, then go down to Factory Reset, and then I go Reset. Now this again will also get rid of all of your settings and all of your live sets. So that only takes a second. So now it's back to the factory default. Now note here, this doesn't take me back to the firmware 1.2 that my YC shipped with. It takes me back to the most recent firmware I successfully installed, which is still 1.40. But what it does do is get rid of all my live sets and get rid of all of my general settings that I may have changed. So just as a quick example, I had configured the foot switch to control my rotary speaker speed. But the default behavior out of the box on the YC is that the foot switch advances your live sets. So if I start pressing the foot switch, you're going to see it's moving through my different live sets as opposed to dealing with my rotary speaker speed. So let's restore now from our complete backup. So I'm going to press Menu, and I'm going to choose File, and I'm going to choose Backup File, and then I'm going to go Load. And then I choose it's the only one that is available on my flash drive. Now, once again here, you've got another option. You've got load all, or you can say just load a live set sound. So you might wonder, why do I need this separate live set file backup then? Well, if I choose this, you're going to see why. If I just choose live set sound, you can only choose one sound to reload. So that's not of much use in this situation. So I'm just going to go load all. So also it only takes a second. And if I scroll back, you can see my live sets are back. Now, if you watch over here, when I press the switch pedal, now it's changing my rotary speaker speed instead of advancing the live sets. So my global settings are back. So that's pretty much it for this video. I hope you found the content useful. If so, please feel free to smash the like button and subscribe to my channel. It does really help me out. I've left links below to my full review on the Yamaha YC61, as well as to some online piano training courses that worked really well for me that I can highly recommend. So thanks again for stopping by. Happy piano playing and have an awesome day.